For next part of the program, which is the panel discussion, no, we would like to call the panel members and the chair to please prepare as we visit the discussions topics for this event. Now, the panel discussion, responsible HR management and its effect on employee work behavior. Now, according to research conducted in Malaysia, it investigates how perceived socially responsible HRM practices influence workplace misbehavior using mediated moderation paradigm. Now, HRM practices also, according to the authors, improve employee trust in the organization, which reduces deviant behavior. It was also projected that ethical leadership will strengthen HRM's technique indirect effect on employee work behavior. Now, to learn more about this, as our panel chairman, Ms. Vivian Cruz, gather thoughts and insights, as well as best practices from our panel members daily, the managing partner of the Fourth Wall, Liza Manalo Mapagu, CEO and founder of ASEA Metrics, and Neddy Estrella, founder of HR Calabarzon. Okay, so allow me to introduce the panel chair and the panel members. Now, Vivian, the panel chairperson, is adept in organizational development, HR business partnering, employer branding, workforce capacity and planning, total rewards and benefits, labor unions, familiarity in integrated management systems, and knowledge in HR management functions of the Philippines, Singapore, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, and Australia. Vivian brings with her close to 30 years of extensive experience in HR and people management functions for local and multinational organizations. She also holds a degree in political science and accounting from Manuel S. Enviga University Foundation. While our panel members daily is the managing partner of the Fourth Wall, a consulting firm that specializes in company culture and design. Now, he focuses on building shared cultures by using unorthodox tools and methods for organizations to reach and sustain peak potential. His human-centered approach emanates from deep-seated empathy and disciplined structure, further cemented through a profound understanding of the human psyche through the intensive practice of military psychology under the United Nations Armistice Commission. Currently, he is a certified Lego serious play facilitator, finishing his PhD in organization development while giving lectures and workshops to university students and companies internationally. So, next on our list for the panel members, touted as the country's assessment guru, she carved her niche in HR consulting with a 35-year experience in talent profiling, psychometrics, talent analytics and research, HR technologies and talent management, consulting across industries in the Philippines and overseas. A BS psychology graduate from UST with a master's degree in measurement and evaluation at DLSU and academic credits on PhD course in research and evaluation at the University of the Philippines. She also earned international certifications in advanced courses in psychometrics and talent management, which is the CEO and founder of ASEA Metrics, Ms. Liza Manalo Mapagu. Next on our list is Neddy, the HR practitioner with over 15 years of experience. And of course, she is also the founder of HR Calabarzon Facebook group and a core group volunteer of the Philippine HR Group since 2017. Neddy is a licensed certified human resource practitioner and a certified practitioner in human resources, a certified life skills and discovery coach. Neddy is also the current HR manager of one of the best food manufacturing in Las Piñas and the managing partner of IN People and Management of a consultancy. Of course, that is Ms. Neddy Estrella. Now, to meet our panel chair and panel members, allow me to have them here in the session. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Neddy, Daily, and Liza.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Okay, may now leave the floor to Miss Vivian Cruz. Take it away.
Hi, thank you, Jester, and good afternoon to everyone. Hi, Neddy, Day, and Lisa. Good afternoon to you once again. Okay, nice to see you. Okay, virtually. And so as Jester have mentioned, no, we'll be talking about socially responsible HRM and its effect on the employee's work behavior. So, employee life appreciation has been a critical component of the retention strategy of most organizations. And when you talk about employee life appreciation, it also talks about engagement, no? We're trying to build connection between the organization and our employees, no? And as what I would like to, resonate what Jester also have said about researches, no, that came out that employees are trying to find meaning in terms of the work that they do. So which is why you will always take note now about purpose, right? Passion. Okay, so it's people, purpose, and passion that are now coming into play. So, and when we talk about being socially responsible, it's about, doing well in terms of your business, creating value for your stakeholders, and now the responsibility to take care of your society. So it's about striking a balance between being good, okay, and doing well. So in this perspective, no, um I would like to ask your thoughts about concept of social responsibility. What are your thoughts about the concept of striking a balance, no, between doing well in terms of financially and creating customer value, and at the same time doing good for the society? So can we just hear it first from you, Lisa?
Hi Vivian, hi everyone. Today, I think we shared a stage before with Isaac. I remember you. Hi
Mhm.
Yes.
Neddy.
Hi,
Anyway,
Viv.
thank you for the question. I am really excited about this topic, Vivian,
Yeah.
because I normally speak about psychometrics
Mhm.
and the technical stuff. Uh, just full disclosure, I am not right now as I speak. Aside from I'm the CEO of ASEAN Metrics, I would like the team and also the participants to know that I'm an active Rotarian. I'm
Yes,
a
that's
past
good.
I'm a past president of Rotary Club in District 3830, and giving is really in our DNA. As an extension, my company is active in Rotary. So I
Oh,
think
okay,
I
that's
would
good.
like to share that. So the context of my discussion of the answer from your question, Vivian, would be one. I truly believe that uh, we have to practice. And Josh Bersin, remember Vivian mentioned about social enterprise in
Yes.
2018, where companies should be able to see um, our role as part of the ecosystem. And
Yes.
I think during the pandemic, we realized that we are all connected, that
Yes.
what we do individually and also as a team really connects with the society and the rest of the world. So I believe that one, this is the time that we have to be socially responsible,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to bring in our people. And leadership is very important because
Yes.
that's a culture that we have to really inculcate within our organization. And they remember when we had the audience with Isaac, we see that among the millennials, the sense of purpose and the
Mm-hmm.
sense of mission
Yes.
really makes them alive. They're not here for profit, but they know that they have to be practical about earning money. But it's nice that while you're earning money, you are part of a company with a soul, that
Yes.
there's a meaning in everything that we're doing. So that's my take. It's important to the organization because it's also brand reputation. And
Mm-hmm.
second would be for the employees. Having sense of mission is very important because it
Correct.
really boosts their morale. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Thanks, Lisa. I just would like to chime in lang, no, before I turned over today. But in terms of like striking the balance, do you think it will still be worth it to kind of like do good for the society, because sometimes it also includes resources, okay? And in terms of balancing it with your profitability, okay, which the very main essence why we're doing business. So do you think it will be an effort to the company, or do you think it should be considered, okay, as part of your business operations because it has a compounding effect in terms of the value of the organization?
Yeah. During the pandemic, a lot of CSR projects were on hold
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes.
we realized even the big companies are incurred a lot of losses.
Yes. Yes.
So it depends on where the
Mm-hmm.
company would prioritize. But I believe that organizations that are sincere and genuinely into CSR will really will be able to find ways. In Rotary, we have three T's: time,
Mm-hmm.
treasure, and talent.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not just money, but we can always mobilize our employees to provide the talent or provide the time. The money or the money is important because you need resources, but it doesn't have to be coming from the company per se, because if you are incurring losses, where will you get money for CSR projects? But there
Yes.
are a lot of organizations that are willing. You can Partnership is very important in any CSR project. So that's my take on that. I still believe in positive karma, meaning
Mm-hmm.
I think the more you give, as you said, I like the word compounding because it has multipliers effect. I
Yes.
think money and crisis should not be a deterrent. It actually brings out the people who are genuinely into giving. And I think the more you give, it sounds preachy, but yes, the more you give, the more you receive.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Day your thought, and probably I would like to piggyback no by adding, how do you think
Mhm.
you can integrate it into the organization's culture so that it would be part of the DNA?
Okay. So I'm going to be taking it from a behavioral science standpoint because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
behavioral scientist. And
Yes.
first thing first is that the core of CSR, it's really about accountability to your stakeholders, the people, the environment, everyone
Mm-hmm.
around you. And even in the military, I mean, my background's in the military. We always believe that if you do your work really well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
your job really well, that's already considered CSR. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you're a baker, you bake your, I don't know, cake or bread the best
Yes.
way you can. That's already giving to the community, to the society. So it becomes a CSR. At the end of the day, you asked if it is an effort to do CSR, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be if you are aligned with your whatever core that you have with your business. It becomes an effort when your CSR is not aligned with the
Okay.
business. And I'll give you a simple example. Let's say a fast food company does a CSR about health. Honestly speaking, it's not aligned, right? Because unless they're a healthy fast food, of course, they'll use resources to pretty much change the mindset of the people. But in the end, they're actually going against it with their values and core, right? So that's one thing. Second is, how about changing the culture? Most, if not all the time, people learn about their purpose
Mm-hmm.
when they start working, because purpose really, when you really look back and study it, it only comes out when someone becomes good at something,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you play a game, when you do something, it's the flow state. You become good at something, the more you love it, the more it becomes your purpose. Same as me, I hated studying before, now I love education for some reason, and now that's my purpose, to make information simpler. And the purpose of making information simpler also became our CSR for the company. So how do we do that, especially like was mentioned a while ago, when we are actually losing money? So we
Mm-hmm.
said, hey, our CSR can be, what can we do that can actually make information simpler so that others can benefit from it? So all of us consultants gave out free classes for
Mm-hmm.
HR people during the pandemic, during the start of the pandemic, using our own resources. And interestingly, as mentioned a while ago, when you give, you get back more. Those
Yes.
people who we taught is now our clients, which is very
Mm-hmm.
funny. So I would say it's an effort. CSR becomes an effort if you're not aligned. It's
Mm-hmm.
not an effort if you are aligned. It's actually part of your work. That's what I would like to say. So yeah, that's how you can change culture and purpose and
Yeah.
passion all
So it
into it.
should be embedded, no? It should be part of the integral, component of your business in terms of the way you do things, no? Okay,
Yeah.
and I agree with you, no? Okay, and it should be effortless to the part of
Mhm.
the organization. Okay, hi Neddy. Okay, nice to see you again. Okay,
Nice.
so
Afternoon.
yeah, let us hear your thoughts about again, no, social responsibility, striking a balance between making money, if we can be more candid about it, making money and giving back to society. And especially during the time of pandemic, as what Lisa have said, no, a lot of companies are trying to cope and thrive during the pandemic. No? And you can please share as well, no, how do you think does this impacted, no, the trust of the company to be socially responsible?
Actually, ma'am, as Ma'am Lisa told this a while ago, talaga pong kailangan meron siyang
Yes.
hati with the company and especially with this Dr. D na natutuwa ako sa sinabi niya because it's a bread. We are
Yes.
working in a bread and yes, CSR is pagbe-bake pa lang. Talagang
Yes.
CSR na yun. And knowing that we are baking bread without preservative, this is a very good CSR for for the social
Ah,
siyempre po.
yes.
Di po ba? And our president and the owner of the company is really into corporate social responsibility because since before the pandemic, we do donate our non-preservative bread sa mga foundations,
Ah, that's nice.
especially with typhoons and other calamities that the Philippines has or had last few days or last few years that we encounter. And yes, ma'am, hindi rin po kailangan na laging may perang involved. Because every employee or every person, every HR or anyone, if you have the heart to be socially responsible, is the best thing.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ned. So, guys, can you share some activities or engagement or CSR programs that you think a company, an organization can embark with, that will not cost so much? Because diba normally when they talk about CSR, ay nako, gastos yan, additional cost yan. But as what Liz have mentioned, diba, there are treaties that we can take into account. So yeah, based on your experiences in the past, practices, or like suggestions, can you give some that, our HR professionals here, can take on as part of their takeaway?
I
Who would
start.
like to say? Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Lisa, please.
in the past, because our company is into uh, talent profiling and talent
Mm-hmm.
development, we, as Day and Neddy mentioned, it has to be integral and part of what you're doing as a company.
Yeah.
So I think by default, we are doing CSR because we are harnessing the power and the talents of in the Philippines. So our work is by itself helping
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm. Yes.
to realize their full potential. But having said that, there are two advocacies
Mm-hmm.
that as a company we're doing, and that because the founders, I mean, aside from me, I have two other founders. We're very passionate about literacy and peace.
Ah.
I'm actually a peace president in Rotary. So peace and literacy. And I think organizations gravitate on certain area, but we just believe that the only way that this country will be will be able to shift to a higher level is really education. So I'd like we I have a scholarship foundation for teachers because I believe that we need to improve quality of teachers. So for
Mm-hmm.
Department of Education, we also have a number of partnerships to improve the quality of teachers that we have. That's one. Second, in the country, I am known to organize peace forum. So in
Mm-hmm.
last September 21, the International Day of Peace, I organized a multi-sectoral peace. So that's kind of like outside of HR. But it's nice that we will be associated with peace education. So that's the second advocacy that we normally be part of. The third one is really disaster management, uh,
Mm-hmm.
because the Philippines is always visited by disaster. So we've been part of Undoy. In fact, I organize a multi-company project where, because during the time there are the Red Cross is really very tired. So there's one, they use team building activity, but they do it in
Yes.
Red Cross. So something like that. So there are, for disasters, that's also something that we're looking at. So again, three, education, peace, and I think environment would be the three CSR projects that we are involved in.
Okay. Thanks you. Thank you, Lisa. Neds?
For our company, we have also three, ma'am. One is we have a partnership with Tuloy Foundation, Don Bosco in Alabang. We have scholarship doon, ma'am. And we have students who do the OJT and then absorbed by the company in the future. Like what we do every time, especially we are manufacturing of bread. That's why that is our first step of CSR. Second, like what Ma'am Lisa says, we have also disaster management, ma'am. Talaga naman pong lagi naman po talaga naman pong lagi tayong inuulan ng bagyo at disaster. So every now and then we kept giving bread, waters, and every product we have sa lahat po ng LGUs. Especially this, hindi lang po company, even the employees itself, sila po mismo ang nag-o-offer because maganda po talaga ang isang company with socially responsible management. And of course, the management is also um, um, supporting me with my HR Calabarzon because talaga naman pong yung Saturday is binibigay niya sa akin and he also gave me all the support that I need. So giving it pay forward to all my ka-HRs in Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon because we officially always giving free learning event every Saturday. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Neddy. Yes, Day. You may
Okay.
want to add more.
Yeah, since everybody gave examples, I would rather share a formula that people can use, especially the
Yes.
people who are watching here. To Ma'am Lisa's point, any kind of work that you do, any company is really there to help people or assist people in any way, right? Any company, when you really think about it, the core of a company or an organization existing there is to help people. It's just that how do you help people is the business, right? And then you get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole concept. So if you want to understand what CSR is best for you, here's a formula that's very simple. One, what does your company stand for? Right? What do they do? Right? What does your for us it's information, right? Behavior science information. Next is what is your company good at? For us, it's simplifying information to make people use it so that they could improve their lives, right? Or their community, their culture, things like that. Third one is what do you have a surplus of? We have a surplus of information, right? So when you look at our CSR, it's like we give out books for free, nonfiction books for free, because that's information. I make book summaries during my own time. Other people does tutoring because we have a surplus of information. We are good at information, and at the same time, we stand for simplifying information. So same with that. Ask yourself in your company, what are you good at? Sorry, what do you stand for? What are you good at? And then look at what do you have a surplus of? Is it? It's not. It's so easy to say that we have a surplus of money. That's why we'll buy something and give out. Honestly, at the end of the day, yes, it's CSR, but it's not like what Ms. Lisa said. It's not genuine, pure CSR when you think about it. So again, back to that is what do you stand for? What are you good at? What do you have a surplus of? Then
Yes.
you can actually find out what is the best CSR for you.
Yep. Yeah. Agree with you, Day, no? Because normally when you talk about what do you good at, What do you stand
Mhm.
for? You normally connect it with your corporate values, eh, di ba?
Mm.
What do you believe in terms of your practices, in terms of your
Totally,
ideals,
yes.
no? And then you can take it from there. And as mentioned, you don't need to be too expensive in terms of your CSR projects. It's really
Mhm.
embedded in the way you do work. So I just would like to check in, no? So during the pandemic, so during the peak of pandemic crisis, no, we highlighted that it actually resonate what the company culture believes in. And it also made mention, there was also some conversation that social responsibility kick in, no, but this time around you're not taking care of other people, but you're taking care first of your own people. So you are socially responsible in making sure that they are not just safe physically, but you also provide support for them, no, to be able to manage, because not everyone, no, is able to cope up with the pandemic. So any thoughts or insights in terms of experiences or things that you've done to kind of like, help your people so that they would be able to cope up with the pandemic crisis from last year up to this year, no? Especially in the areas of financial, mental wellness, and other challenges that our employees are have experienced. Anyone can start sharing. Yes, Lisa?
Okay. Um, so there are two stages here. So we have surviving and thriving,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everybody goes through the survival stage. And there are companies that are winners and losers in this pandemic. Our ASEAN Metrics is very fortunate that we are winners, meaning
Mm-hmm.
our company grew because we are a digital company. But again, not all companies went through the same positive experience that we have. But the psychological well-being is very important to our employees. We cannot be giving something that we don't have. So I think the first thing that all HR present here did was to make sure that we took good care of our employees. And we will not be able to give outside until internally we're actually stable. So I think we that's the first step that we did. The psychological well-being becomes the first stage, and everything is unprecedented. So I realized that yes, until such time that we already make our employees stable, meaning that we were able to adjust to new work environment, that you were able to provide a very secure work from home environment for them. Now we're talking about hybrid. We will not be able to give, and I think that that's fair, right? How can we give something that we don't have? So again, fortunately for us, we did not experience what other companies experience because we are ready for a digital company, and we were able to manage our business well despite the pandemic. I'd like to be able to hear out from others who, because as I said, it's very positive, and the good thing about is because we became a resource to other companies. Our company provided free webinars almost like on a monthly basis, and I'm
Yes.
sure there are HR here who benefited from that. We did not. I actually taught leadership courses in time of pandemic. So these are, and also for HR, and we provided tools for business continuity. HR operations continue because of our tools. So yeah, that's our way of giving back. So we thank God that we did not experience what the pains. And
Yeah.
because of that, our realization is we really need to give back. And that's our way of giving back to not only to our clients, but to the society as well.
Okay, good. Just extending the services, no, that we offer. Okay, and so that others would be able to take advantage of it. That's nice. That's nice, Lisa. Okay, how about Neddy before I move today?
For our company, the the thought of the president or the owner of the BG, if we will close the company, how about our employee? To be honest with you, live here, the management or the company is our income is so very much low. But the idea is paano ang mga empleyado? Ako may kakainin ako. How about my employees? That was very great with my boss. And I am very, very much honored to be one of his employee and one of his leader. Kaya po, lagi namin ginagawa is paano ang gagawin namin. So, program-wise, para sa mga employee, first, during pandemic, we give services. So, meron kami shuttle. We also have rented house or boarding house or apartment, separate for the boys and separate for the girls. Para yung mga malalayo is just staying because we don't want to close. We don't want to shut down even though napakahina ng manufacturing. Third, after the pandemic, we still continue the shuttle and we give financial assistance. Pinagamit po namin lahat ng leave na meron sila during the pandemic. Yan po yung mga ginawa namin during the pandemic and still doing as of the moment from our company.
Thank you, Day.
Yeah. I guess for us, we are coming from a different place. So one thing that was different about us is that we are a multinational company with different offices in different countries.
Yes.
So it was very different for everyone. For some countries, like in my country, Korea, it was a little bit better because the government actually was one of the first responders when it came to COVID. So it was easier. It was not really on the company to do things, right? There was also, I managed the Philippine office. So Philippines was a completely different
Setting.
story
It's a different
altogether, as
environment.
Singapore, as Europe, and all these things, right? And what we really thought about that maybe this might help everyone too is that it's not just about giving, okay, giving what they need, but how to actually sustain it. So I'm not Catholic, but I'm gonna reference a religious part wherein I think it was fish. Do you want to give fish or teach them to be
we wanted
fishermen?
to-
Right? That's a shortened version. Sorry if I made a mistake in there. It's really about teaching people how to be fishermen so that they can sustain themselves too. Because like Nedi said, you don't know when the company is gonna go down. Nobody knows, right? But upskilling, as on top of course, we give them housing and all these things depending on the situation of that country. But on top of it, upskilling was a very important part. Everybody is in a downtime. Why not just, upskill yourselves? Right. So we tried to gather, again, what's our surplus? Information, all our consultants. We gathered, and internally we had teaching programs at the same time to upskill all these people so that whenever, if ever, the company goes bye-bye, thankfully
Yes.
it didn't, they can actually go somewhere else. At the same time, when it comes back and they stay in the company, they can actually use those skills to push it forward. So, for example, a very good example was an intern who was 18 years old when she came into our company. She was just, I guess, a encoder, right? Encoding Excel files and all that. Now she's an accounts manager in a span of 2 years just because of the upskilling. Yeah. So, and now she's saying that she's way more. She knows her direction and all those things, and that's just one story that I can say. But that's what we have to be able to do. Just don't give them fish. Teach them how to
Yeah.
be fishermen, right? So, yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
agree
much
with
it.
you, Day. A company that I know of because I'm supporting them right now. They have stream of businesses as well, and some businesses are not doing well because of the pandemic, and some business are doing good. So what they did, no, is they institutionalized learning approach. So if in the past, okay, so the approach is per business unit, they offered it to everyone who would like to retool themselves so that those who don't have available work at this time can move okay, or can go to other functions or to other business units. So, and that's how the company did it so that it would be sustainable, aligned with your teaching them how to fish rather than to give them fish, no? And one company I used to work with before, what we're doing is we partner, no, with we're partner with social entrepreneurs, okay, whenever we have some events or we have some activities, no, so that we will be able to build partnerships. So in this perspective, because again, I think the beauty about corporate social responsibility right now, no, compared in the past, is that in the past companies used to dole out money. It's really more about treasure, but now CSR is about engaging people, okay, building connection with people. And so, therefore, how do you think, or what do you think HR can do so that we would be able to harness social responsibility within our organization? And if you can share stories as well on how did you build it up with your own company, how did you sell the idea with your leadership group? No, that would be helpful for our HR professionals. Neds, can we start from you naman?
For us, ma'am, actually, as of no moment, medyo hindi namin siya kayang gawin. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest lang po. But personally, on my own organization, which is I am the founder of HR
HR
Collaboration.
Calabarzon,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am. We do it actually every time talking to the speaker mentor,
Mm-hmm.
looking for them to be more have mutual agreement with HR collaboration, and of course giving pay it forward with the HR, knowing that I'll be honest, ma'am, I am not a graduate of HR or nor psychology, but I love being HR, and I love to pay it forward to my co-HR, knowing that I have all the abilities and all the learning and experience coming from all of my mentors, from Philippine HR Group, from HR Mentoring, and from everyone, especially with Ma'am Vivian also, one of my mentor also. And I'm so very happy and grateful to be with Ma'am Lisa and Dr. Lee, because I learned with Dr. Lee today, especially when she given three things to check if your company is CSR. Yun, ma'am.
Okay. So, siguro to add on is that normally it's always driven from the top, eh? But can it be bottom up in terms of the approach of building and sustaining your CSR program? Can it be rallied by HR from the people rather than
Yeah.
from the leadership downwards?
Okay. Actually, when you think about it, leadership really just gives direction,
Mm-hmm.
but the people who champion it and sustain it are the people below. It's the same as the military. Honestly, the commander just says attack this, and then
Mm-hmm.
it is up to the people down there, the privates or the people on the field, to to understand how to do that. So if you want to know how, if a culture or a change or anything works really well, CSR really
Mm-hmm.
works well,
Mm-hmm.
look at the people down there. But what
Yes.
do these actually middle people have higher impact? Middle managers have higher impact than the leaders. Leaders just give direction. The people who do it are the people below going up, but the
Yes.
middle managers are the ones who create the culture. So what does this mean? By the way, Miss Neddy, as long as you love human beings, you don't need a degree or anything. Diba?
Yes.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
also not an HR
Yeah,
an
but I mean, no
HRM
one is. I'm from
graduate. Yeah.
military science. Like I don't have HR, right? Just the PhD, but that's nothing. But the point here is culture is when you think about culture. Culture is when there is a lack of directive.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody understands Tagalog, so I'll just say Tagalog since I see it. Uh, Pag wala kang binigay na direction sa isang tao at may ginagawa sila, yan yung kultura
Mm-hmm.
nila. Look at
Yes.
it, right? That's what it is. Easiest way to understand on a behavioral standpoint, right? But basically, our culture, that means, is determined by the environment. Kung ano yung environment natin, our behavior changes based on that. Diba? It's, for example, analogy again. If a plant or a flower does not grow, you don't change the plant or get mad at the plant and say, ba't hindi ka nag-grow? Dinidiligan kita. Yun pala, cactus siya. Malamang hindi siya mamamatay siya kasi, di ba? Hindi pwede diligan yung sobra. Right? That's the point. So, point here is you have to understand the people and change the environment where they choose to change, right? Then whatever CSR was given by the directives above is going to change. Not best practices. What the best practice is what works for your company. I just to give you an example, there was a time na biglang nag-open office yung mata. What does that mean? They put down all the cubicles because
Mhm.
yun yung in thing, diba?
Mhm.
Collaboration.
Mhm.
But those who needed collaboration, their work actually output was good. But for people like us in the research industry, we need cubicles. In the finance industry, we need cubicles because we can't talk to people. For those companies, it died down, right?
Yes.
So the moment that you change the environment, people's behavior will change. And that's how you are able to push, right? And that's why middle managers are very important because they are the ones who create the environment, right? So, yeah, hopefully that gave an example and thoughts on it, just so we'd
Right.
understand things better.
Yeah, yes, that's nice. That's nice, day. Lisa, your thoughts about, can it be bottom up? Can it be rallied okay, from the people by HR? Okay, if we have difficulty selling the idea, okay, from the top?
Based from what I've seen, it's really top bottom.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sorry, Vivian, to say. Why? Because as Day and Neddy mentioned, it's a culture that you build it, but more
Mm-hmm.
often than not, the leader is the culture. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important that I think you ask about the roles of
Yeah.
HR, and
Yes.
our audience would is the HR practitioners here. I see that there are three important roles of HR to be able to inculcate the value of corporate social responsibility. You need to be a credible coach to the leaders. So I think this is something that you can influence them. I think, Vivian, that was your word. How will you get the buy-in of the leadership?
Yes.
You really
So you,
have to
as
get
a,
the
you
buy-in.
yourself is a CEO. So how can the HR
Yeah.
professional sell the idea to you so that you'll get the buy-in on CSR programs?
And I think there is a business case for CSR.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually provide that if we have CSR projects, and this is good for company branding, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to hire the top professionals because they will be attracted to what we're doing here. So if you say that to the CEOs, you will have better people because we will attract better talents. We like
Correct.
to hear that. And second, that will be good for the brand. It has been
Mm-hmm.
shown that there's customer loyalty when companies are doing CSR. You have to do that because bottom line for CEOs would be really songs to our ears. So that's one. The second one would be we have to be coaches to
Mm-hmm.
our people as well
Yes.
because you are we have part of culture building. So you need to be able to bring in, you need to develop as a positive mindset, a giving mindset. Why we need to give. In fact, um, it has been there's a brain research, and if we look back, when is the happiest moment of our life? And it was been proven by brain research. The happiest moment of our life is actually when we give. It's not what we receive. So if you would like to be happy, you keep on giving. So yes, get the buy-in of the top leaders, and second, you need to be able to appreciate and recognize those that have giving mindset, those who are very altruistic, and and create a success story, a positive story that when we start to do CSR projects, the morale becomes better,
Mm-hmm.
productivity becomes better, and it gives to the company. So it can be win-win to everybody.
Mhm. Yeah. And so, yeah, actually, you answered my next question in terms of what do you think would be the impact to the employee's behavior, okay, when you initiate CSR projects. So, Neds, based on your experience, okay, what has been the result when you implement CSR projects? And you, of course, you involve people on it, no? Kasi right now, the millennials, okay, they would like to be actively participating in CSR projects. So, okay, they would like to be in, in the game. So, if you're gonna do coastal cleanup, they would like to be doing the cleanup themselves. So, What do you think? What has been your observation with regards to reaction of your people about the company? And syempre, at the end of the day, the employee net promoter score. How does it impact, okay, when you talk about employee engagement?
100% happy employees,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
especially with my team. I'm so happy to excuse me, to have a very, very good team na talagang socially responsible sila, ma'am. Kahit hindi ako yung mag-initiate, they are the one asking me, ma'am, we do this, we do that. Because I'll be honest with you, since the first disaster that my family had, I am very much happy and ongoing sa pag-participate sa lahat
Mm-hmm.
ng pagtulong, ma'am. Within my family pa lang. So marami na kaming ginawang pagtulong sa kapwa, especially this COVID. Uh, Before COVID po, I resigned because I have my HR consultancy. But we, with the HRs of the Philippine HR group, created a group that we called I forgot that. We created a group donating medical equipment, medical supports to
Mm-hmm.
all hospital and frontliner. So with my team, ma'am, honestly, today with my team and with our company, they are very much happy and honored and appreciative. Yung
Yes.
point na, ma'am, ako po yung magdadala nito sa foundation. Ma'am, ako na lang po yung magbibigay nito sa ano. Ma'am, baka naman pwede bigay tayo ng ganito karami. Ma'am, pwede ba konti na lang? Ma'am, kasi sayang. Ganun. Sila na mismo yung lumalapit sa'yo at talagang sa lahat maririnig mo, ay, galing yan kay sorry, sabihin ko na yung pangalan ng company. Ay, galing yan kay Village Gourmet. Uy, masarap yung tinapay nila kasi nakakuha kami niyan, libre lang, pinamigay nila. Pero pag bumili ka sa mall, napakamahal. O, ay, hindi, nagkaroon sila ng gate sale kasi binigay nila ng lower price yung mga item nila, yung mga bread nila. At talaga namang very good siya. Lalo na sa mga taong diabetic kasi wala yung preservative. That's yung positive outcome po sa aming mga employee na talaga namang mas naging masaya sila magtrabaho because ay nagtatrabaho kasi sa kumpanyang hindi lang sa amin tumutulong but sa LGUs.
Mm-hmm.
Nagtatrabaho ko sa isang company na hindi lang siya nakatingin sa sarili niya, sa income. He is also thinking of the employees and the LGUs and the government employees and even sa pinakabaliit na tao sa Pilipinas. Yun po.
Thank you. Thank you, Neddy. Yeah, Day, your thoughts?
My thoughts on this is the same as what I said a while ago. It really gives people the sense of purpose,
Mm-hmm.
right? In a long term. If I look back and look at my how I found my purpose, it's a combination of all the different companies or organizations that I've worked for, right? Which is basically whatever their CSR was and all these things. And it also aligns with what Miss Lisa said about, the happiest moment of human beings when they give, right? It's because people come in a company because they're passionate about something. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're passionate about something here. For example, I'm passionate about HR, so I'll join HR. I love human beings, that's why I'll join HR. But passion is more of what we want. Ano ba yung gusto ko? Kaya ako sasali dyan kasi gusto ko ang HR. But purpose is actually made or created when they join the company. So purpose, the difference of purpose with passion is that if passion is what we want, purpose is what value do we give? What value as a human being can I give? And if people realize the value of that and know that they could actually share something, that's when people start having purpose. And then that's when, like Miss Neddy said, ako na lang po gagawa nito. Diba? Something like that. So CSR plays a very big role in that, making that person find out their purpose. But here's a caveat that I've experienced myself. Sometimes CSR, if it's not aligned, it can
Mm-hmm.
backfire.
Yes.
I remember this because she mentioned coastal cleanup. There was a company that did a coastal cleanup, but found out that they're the ones actually polluting the seas. right? So what is that? Are you trying to absolve of your sins or something like that? No, it's gonna backfire. But at the end of the day, it's all there, purpose and everything. It's all there. It's companies, I think, role to make that person or whoever joins your company realize what their purpose is all about. So there, that's it.
Thank you. And before we end up our panel for this afternoon, for our panel session, by the way, thank you very much for very wonderful insights. I think now I've been receiving comments in the chat box. So if I can just read it, CSR in sustainability. That's very insightful, Dr. Lee. Excellent analogy on top echelon and middle manager culture involvement. Okay, agree with Dr. D. My previous company, we have CSR champions. Yes, CSR champions, I think, matters a lot. Criteria for selecting the right CSR program is spot on. Very simple yet meaningful. Okay, such great insights, very informative. So, any last word to our HR professionals out there, no, who is now conceptualizing or, redrawing because we are in a different scheme right now, different work arrangement, who are in a different setup, who are in the drawing table when it comes to creating their social responsibility practices. Any thoughts, any advices that you can give them? Can we start with Lisa?
Okay. Corporate social responsibility should be part of, it's a practice because of a core value. So say for example, if compassion or um, see, corporate social responsibility is part of the core value, that becomes, that will stick. It should be something that is not sustainable, because when we create a program, that has to be sustained because of our beneficiaries will definitely be expecting. So that's one. Second would be, um, we need to be able to harness the power of positivity among our people, because we will really be able to harness the goodness of everyone if we will, if we will bring them together. So this has to be something that not just the CEO wants or the leader
Mm-hmm.
wants or HR wants. It's something that will be conceptualized,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a program because of a series of consultations and inclusion of everybody. So when everybody gets the buy-in of that, I think that would be good. So you need to change mindset to be able
Mm-hmm.
to change behaviors, right? And when you change mindset, that becomes a culture, because that's going to be a pattern of behaviors across the organization, and that becomes practice. um, you need to be able to address whatever the needs of the society. So I think we need to be perceptive about how can we make difference in the society, in small or big, as long as this is relevant and it is genuine. There is hypocrisy in CSR, and we've seen that. And I think they mentioned that in a way. Yes, there is hypocrisy in CSR, and I hope that when you will really do it, this is really because your company is not just for profit, but you are a company with a soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Neddy?
Kagaya po ng sinabi ni Dr. D and ni Ma'am Lisa. Una is, syempre, yung purpose. Number two is yung malasakit o yung compassion. Kasi po, at ang last is puso. Even you have the purpose, even you have the malasakit, but you don't have the heart on what everything you want to do, hindi po yun magiging magpa-prosper. Kasi hindi naman laging kailangan ng pera. Ang lahat po ng bagay, kagaya ng HR Calabarzon, nabuo siya ng dahil sa puso. Ano ang purpose ng HR Calabarzon? Ano po ang purpose ng bawat isang HR? Hindi naman po tayo lahat tungkol sa pera. We are more on how can we change our employee, help our company, and help ourselves. Bilang isa pong HR practitioner at isang ina, doon po ako umiikot sa purpose ko, sa malasakit ko at sa puso ko. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you, Neddy. Thank you very much. Yeah, talagang very passionate. Okay, Day?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's all about accountability, right? We are here. Actually, we're very lucky to have work and all these things. So it's really being accountable with everything around us, including ourselves, right? So one thing that is good to practice, I don't know if a lot of HR practitioners know this, is systems thinking, is to
Mhm.
really look how far your efforts would go. That's why I say if you're just gonna give them food, it's just gonna last them maybe for a day or a week, right? Depending on how many they are, gaano kalakas sila kumain. But that's how it is. But really look at how far it can go. And we talked about, teaching them how to fish rather than just giving them fish, right? And honestly asking, why are you doing this? Because if it's for your image, for profits, like Miss Hedy said and Miss Lisa said, don't do it. Diba? If it's for your face or whatever, don't do it. So a good practice to really ask yourself why, like 5 times. So why? There's a saying called ask why hanggang umaray.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Hanggang umaray at malaman mo kung bakit mo talaga ginagawa. At pag yung sagot ay ginagawa ko 'to para magkaroon kami ng mas maraming pera, then no. But if it goes back to ito talaga yung ano namin, yung purpose ng company namin, then go. 'Di ba? That's why I'll go back to this. What do you stand for? What are you good at? And what's your surplus? Kasi that's going to give you in the middle, that's going to give you what you're supposed to give and look how far it can go. Diba? Maybe one day your action today can actually change the lives of, I don't know, thousands or hundreds of people. Yeah, right. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Neddy, Dr. Lee, and Lisa. No, thank you very much for the wonderful insights, and I hope okay, our HR professionals out there, no, we're able to pick yon a lot of the insights you have shared kasi masyadong puno no this afternoon. So I think 50 minutes is not enough to cover everything about CSR. But before I hand you over to Jester, no, so okay, when you talk about social responsibility, I agree with what our panelists have mentioned this afternoon. So let's all look back into why did we created the business? What is the mission or what is the sense of being? Okay, the reason for being of our businesses. Of course, part of it is to make money, but part of it is to be able to assist our society, to uplift okay the quality of standards probably of the community that we serve or we are in, or to be able to create an impact okay in the community. And the concept of CSR has been there for quite a long time already. Okay, but as we progresses, no, there are recent trends already focusing more about how employee, okay, or how can employee can add value, okay, when you talk about corporate social responsibility. And I think this is where HR can kick in. So you can already look into different organizations, the successful one. And one thing you would note in terms of their social responsibility practices is that how it is embedded into their culture, into their DNA, ika nga natin kanina, 'di ba? So it's about what you like doing, okay, what are you passionate about, and okay, what are the things that you're good at, as what Dr. Lee have said, no? And what are the surplus? What are the things you can give? Because sabi nga natin um, we can only give things no that we have, we cannot give things that we don't have, no. And the concept of CSR evolved already, sabi nga ni Lisa, no, from treasury before puro bigay ng donations. Now it's a concept of time, talents, no, and okay, and services, okay, that we even offer. Sabi nga ni Neddy, yung mismong produkto natin, no, can be offered as part of our CSR. And one thing that I would like to advise our HR professionals out here, if I may, no, when we are trying to conceptualize our social responsibility practices, let's look into the demographics and the dynamics of our people as well. What do they like doing? What are they passionate doing? So in one organization I had been, no, okay, they're very active, so they like action. So most of our CSR programs is what Lisa have said, time, talent, not much on the treasury side. Okay, so because this is where our people will find meaning in terms of their work, in terms of their value in the organization. And I always believe, no, that in our employee value proposition, Okay, social responsibility will kick in and will definitely have a buy-in of the top leaders. Okay, because it's not expensive as what we used not to think in the past. No, it's not expensive anymore. It's about thinking about others and how we can do well. And sabi nga ni Lisa, maganda talaga if there's buy-in coming from our top leaders, no? Okay, but as what they have said, and I agree with him, no, very important is the role of our mid-level managers and our frontline leaders. I've seen a lot of organization wherein the social responsibility practices emanated from people. People sharing, giving their feedback in terms of what activities they would like to engage in, supported by their respective frontline leaders and frontline managers, and it really did well and wonder for the organization. So I think no, this is one avenue of HR that we can further explore, especially right now, 'di ba? We've been through different roles already during the pandemic, but this is one thing that we can further explore. And by the way, social responsibility talks as well about our employment practices. If we are ethical, fair, and reasonable in terms of our employment practices, then we are socially responsible. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. And Jester, back to you. And I hope no you find insights in the conversations we had with our panelists. Thank you very much. No, ako mismo, I also learned a lot from the things that you have shared this afternoon. Maraming salamat, and Jester.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to all our panel chairperson and panel members. No, your thoughts are all provoking. Miss Vivian, Miss Neddy, no, Miss Lisa, and Dr. Daly.